Cool. I'll be the headless MC here because my internet is hating me at the moment. But we have a set of topics here, and as always, if anyone, as we're talking about it, wants to jump in or add anything to the topic list, feel free to do so. So I just put some of the features that we kind of have coming up that are kind of chunky to talk about. And I'll just start with the first one is we're introducing a lot more in the way of feature flags. So these are, would we say, I didn't get an answer for this. Would we say these are more beta things, Robert?
Yeah. I think we're kind of like taking Prometheus's lead here by finding a consistent way to signal something that we're working on is not stable. It's subject to changes. Like it might not even work fully yet. Um, and that you have to opt in to like getting that feature. So once like if something is hidden behind a feature flag, the intent is that it eventually won't be. But we do want to just use it as like the warning signal for, hey, you're entering like Here Be Dragons territory.
Yep. And speaking of that, we have two items that are in the most recent release went out and were hidden behind feature flags. The first is remote config, and it's hard for me to see who's on the call. I assume Robbie isn't, so I can speak to it. Um, this is basically a feature that lets you load a configuration file from a remote source. I believe we're using the GoS simple library. So there's some documentation about that, and basically you add the enabled features, and it will load it from I think S3 in file. Um, that's pretty cool.
Sorry, that I think we didn't add S3 support for the first go at this. And in fact, we're not using any library at all.
That's right. Sorry.
So the first attempt here is you can configure Grafana agent to load instead of a file from disk over HTTPS. The drawbacks of doing this are if the endpoint's down, you won't get your config, the agent won't be able to start up. But also at the moment, you can't, like, it won't auto reload or pull or anything. So if the file changes, you have to manually tell your agents to reload, either by calling the reload endpoint or by sending some signal. I don't know. I don't know what signal standard for like having it reload sync interrupt. No, that can't be it. Do you know, Matt?
What signal are we talking about?
There is a signal you can send to the process to force it to reload.
Oh, I've just always used the reload endpoint.
Yeah, same actually. All right, well, oh, here we go. Notifier. All right, yeah, it's sig HUP. I don't know what HUP means. Bug interrupt? That can't be it. Well, okay, if you send a sig HUP to the agent, that'll also force it to reload the endpoint. And now someone on YouTube who watches this will tell me HUP obviously stands for
hang up.
Hang up. Okay. Yeah, obviously stands for hang up. So instead of hanging up, it will not hang up, and it'll reload the config. This is a someone contributed this a while ago. I think it's because Prometheus has support for it. Some software has support for it, and then we brought it into the agent too.
Gotcha. Cool. And then the next feature we have, this is a pretty big one, is V2 integrations, and I'll let Robert talk about that.
So there's kind of like a lot of things that led to a reimagining of the integrations part of the agent code base. One, I'll say like the integrations was like the second thing we wrote, and it has like it was designed specifically for embedding Prometheus exporters, and there was kind of a lot of cruft around, or not cruft, but like tech debt from that decision. As we kind of go into like 2022. I've been hearing a lot of like talks about adding different kinds of integrations to Grafana agent, such as like like watching Kubernetes for Kubernetes events and logging those to Loki. And the existing integration system wasn't very supportive of these kind of unique or like more unique integrations. So that's kind of like context number one. Context number two is when you use integrations for self scraping, you get all these magic labels. One of those is like the agent host name, which is the host name of the agent that the agent's running on. If you were not self-scraping integrations, like if you have another Grafana agent or a Prometheus server, whatever, that is collecting metrics from these integrations directly, you do not get those magic labels anymore. They were injected by like the self-scraping thing. So the new subsystem, which is hidden behind a feature flag, has two features. One, we do support technically newer types of integrations. We don't have any yet, but we will have some. And then also, we now support the Prometheus HTTP Service Discovery API to show you all the targets that are running of integrations that have metrics. And if you scrape from those, all of those targets have all the magic labels. So it basically it's just more consistent with integrations, regardless of how you're collecting from their metrics.
Awesome.
Try it out, please.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the fact you can no longer have to run multiple agents to scrape multiple Redis instances or whatever is pretty big win. So cool. Um, and that does lead us to dynamic configuration, something I've been um, working on, and it is not even in beta. It is going to be more of RFC. There is a dev branch that I'll be kind of pushing things to. This will essentially allow you to use, consider everything I'm about to say as tentative, essentially allow you to use DOMplate to load template a configuration file and load from various sources. There's a lot of power, but there's also a lot of places for things to go wrong or be more complexity. So definitely wanting any sort of public, interest in that or concerns. There'll be more forthcoming from that as we get input and flesh it out. Cool. Does anyone have anything they'd like to bring up? Open floor.
I will talk a little bit about the metrics v2 stuff. I have been talking a lot for a long time about improving the scraping service and having it be more generally useful to more people. And I have an RFC open for how we're going to do that. And the general concept is we're going to make clustering a core part of the agent so that it's like the clustering code is always being used even if your agents aren't clustered. So like if you're just running an agent independently, it's technically kind of using the cluster code even though it's not connecting to any other agents. And then on top of that, when agents are clustered, they'll be able to share scrape targets and kind of balance out the responsibility of like the metric scrape load. I think like it's kind of the direction I want to see the scraping service move into, and I'm interested in seeing how it works out. It's in RFC form. We're going to have PRs for it over time. It'll take probably a few months to come around. This will be a feature flag thing, because ultimately we don't want to break the existing code when we're not super confident yet that the V2 is actually going to be useful or good. Either of those.
Yeah, and I think just in general approaches, we're going to try to move quicker, but have things be more opt-in via feature flags until they kind of reach a critical mass of becoming, in air quotes, like legitimate, and kind of more locked down.
If you're interested in like getting your 2 cents in for this, please do like read the RFC and give us your comments. It's be appreciated.
And we
I'll
will.
link to it in the
Okay. Yeah.
the call notes.
All right. Anyone have anything they want to bring up? If not, we can end early and give everybody some time back. So appreciate everybody dropping on, and let's do a chat for a bit.
Bye, everyone.
So we'll see you all in about a month.
See ya.